Hey everyone, welcome back to Business Beyond the Beach in partnership with Miami Beach Community Newspapers. And we are pleased to have today one of my favorite people in all of Miami-Dade County, my dear friend, President and CEO of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, Brittnie Bassant. Welcome, Brittnie.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Pleased to be your guest today on the show.
Are you the guest or are you the host? I've never been so taken aback.
Well, this is what happens when Brittnie Bassant and Alex Fernandez get together. She just does not know what will happen.
We are not allowed to be in the same room. We're not allowed to sit next to each other at events because we just laugh inappropriately nonstop. And this stuff like this happens where before I can say a word, Alex just jumps right. And that was the most perfect intro I think Business Beyond the Beach has ever had in the history of our little chamber talk show podcast here, our short history. But
and I got to tell you something. I love the fact that the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce makes an effort to reach out to the community, to communicate with the community. Because in government, one of the most important things in government is to listen to the people. And listening to the people is a two-way street. It's not just listening, but also reacting. And the fact that the Chamber of Commerce is engaging with the businesses, is engaging with the leaders, but it's also engaging with the community that it serves, because the Chamber serves the entire community. It's part of the reason why I'm so proud to be on your board of governors.
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that in a little bit because we love having you on our board. And I think it's really important for us to have those relationships and to build those bridges. And that's why we're doing this. This is why we're doing Business Beyond the Beach, because we want to expose our Miami Beach community to the broader community, our elected officials, our incredible business owners, everything that makes Miami Beach so special. We want to really expose that to the rest of Miami-Dade and kind of get them hooked so that they're all on the beach there with us.
I love the energy that you've brought to not only to this great show. It's so great to be here at Community Newspapers that has put together this online platform, but the energy you just bring to Miami Beach. It's like everyone says, oh my God, the chamber is everywhere. And you just feel it. You feel it. And I'm just wondering, I'm going to flip this on you, Brittnie.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting interviewed.
I'm going to flip this on you. How was it like leaving South Dade? Because you've built a life around South Dade. You can't go anywhere in South Dade without them knowing Brittnie Bassant. You were like the de facto mayor of South Dade, la alcaldesa of South Dade.
Oh my, careful.
No, but there's one alcaldesa of Miami-Dade County.
Yes.
But like everyone just knows you, whether it be at the zoo or whether it be at the wineries in South Dade or whether it be the unique stores. How was that transition for you to come to Miami Beach? Such a different world.
It was a very different world. It was a huge transition, but I will say, and you know this firsthand, it was the community in Miami Beach.
Yes.
I was welcomed with such open arms, so warmly, unlike anything I could have ever expected. I'm not saying that I thought that I wasn't going to be welcomed by the community, but I was so quickly and warmly embraced by yourself, by so many others on the beach. And I formed this family so quickly and I love it. And I can't believe it's only been 2 years because I feel like I've been there forever now. But
that's what really makes Miami Beach so different, is that it's community. It really is community.
Yes, it is.
It's like there's the rest of Miami-Dade County. And Miami-Dade County is such a great place. But when you get on Miami Beach, I don't know if it's because we're on an island and so you're just stuck in the island and you really feel, all the businesses, all the business owners. You see people socializing together, whether they're rich or poor, whether they're gay or straight, or whether they're Jewish or Catholic. People are just really intermixing and supporting each other and lifting each other up.
They come together so beautifully. I always say, if you take away the hotels and the fancy restaurants, it's really just a small town. Yeah. That's Miami Beach. We're not going to take that away because we love that. That's part of our
Well, that's
our
what
economy.
Balances our budget.
Exactly. Well, of course. Absolutely. And that's the driving force of
Yes.
Miami Beach. But really at its core, it's a beautiful, tight-knit community. And we love that. And you know all about community. You've grown up in Miami. You have a long history in Miami. you've been so incredibly involved. And how do you think some of those earlier experiences, because you've been involved in public office and government for quite some time, I won't say how long, but how do you think that's really shaped your career, especially now as an elected official, leading up to, like, your entire career leading up to, and then now being in that role?
So I got to say, there's something to be said about understanding the process and the role of government and the responsibilities of being ethical in government and conducting yourself in a way that's worthy of the people who have placed their trust in you. And I got to say that that perhaps is one of the most important things of having been involved in public service for nearly 20 years. Public trust is something that is so sensitive and it can't be taken for granted. And a lot of times you see people who come to public service with good intentions, who want to do good, but they make mistakes along the way and mistakes that erode public trust. And so I got to say, I've been so fortunate, whether it has been working in the past with our former mayor Maddie Herrera Bauer, or working with former county commissioners like Rebecca Sosa. They've been individuals who, above all else, taught me the importance of civility, of collegiality, of honorable conduct when you're acting on behalf of the public. And so more than anything else, that being exposed to individuals like that has helped shape me in a way that makes me just, I feel a better public servant. I just feel I learned so many other things from the community. You know, the importance of historic preservation, the importance of protecting our environment, investing in resiliency to ensure that we have a community that is truly resilient to the challenges and threats of sea level rise, and that people be able to continue to live in our city. Those are values that the community gives you. The importance of investing in public safety and ensuring that our businesses don't have homeless individuals going in there and causing chaos, or making sure that neighborhoods are safe and you don't have cars that are being broken into in the middle of the night. Those are things that the community, that you just pick up from the community and that you advance on behalf as a representative of the community. But understanding public trust and respecting that, that is something that's just ingrained in you. And I'm so fortunate to have had that opportunity. Just like you've been a public servant yourself. That, to me, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to the public that has placed their trust in me for the past 4 years, because that is the one thing I hope I never let the public down on.
And as someone who's worked alongside you and watched your journey for a number of years now. And fun fact, Alex and I used to work together. I want to say, at a different lifetime
Yes.
ago.
Yeah.
Yes, we worked together. We were both commission aides
Yeah.
early in our careers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, at this point, I think it's been about 10 years.
yeah, a little bit over 10 years.
Yeah.
And to come back in full circle, and now he's a commissioner in Miami Beach.
And you're the president of
CEO
the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce.
And we get to work together on such a different
Yeah.
capacity, but really to impact change.
Well, I mean, I got to
different.
tell you, I mean, the best conversations I've had with you at the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce is when it comes to policy. How can we create a better environment for businesses, especially when we're trying to restore public safety during challenging periods in our city, times like spring break, when the government has to enact policies that aren't the most conducive to business. And being able to have a frank dialogue, a frank discussion. Okay, how do we restore public safety so that we don't hurt the brand of Miami Beach and we continue being a global destination that people around the world want to visit and feel safe in? It has been such an important dialogue, and it's not always an easy dialogue. In the past, what was happening was that, we were having all these stampedes, these shootings, these loss of lives that we were having for years upon years during spring break. And what was happening was that the impact wasn't only during spring break, but it was hurting the Miami Beach brand. And the moment that headline made its way around the world, that there was a stabbing in Miami Beach, that someone lost their life, and that picture picture was on the cover of some publication in London. And this is a real example. Some publication in London had a front page cover with a picture of Miami Beach with someone's blood on the sidewalk of Miami Beach. That's when you know that your brand is hurting. And we've been able to collaborate, have an open line of conversation. Okay, how do we protect our brand? How do we restore public safety? And how do we create a better environment for our businesses? And like one of the things that we've heard from businesses is parking for employees, parking for visitors. And one of the things we've realized is that businesses are so supportive to our public safety needs, and they make sacrifices during the month of March. Now, how do we come back and help businesses during the slow months? How do we say thank you? We know that it wasn't easy for you, but you made sacrifices on behalf of our greater good to restore public safety. Well, now during the summer months, when we all know the business is slow because tourism is slower, no one who wants to be in the heat of Miami Beach and I mean, we do. We love it.
We love it.
We
It's
love
paradise.
it. But it's hard for tourism. Fewer people are coming. So we have Miami Spice, we have Miami Spa month. And so we as a city commission, we've passed an initiative where we're going to be reducing parking rates during July and August.
And
to
you
help the
championed that cause. That was your legislation.
Yeah, very proud to champion that cause. We're going to be making an official announcement coming soon about that because we want the greater Miami-Dade County community to feel welcomed, to come to Miami Beach, enjoy Miami Spice, enjoy Miami Spa. We have some of the most beautiful spas.
And some of the most incredible restaurants.
Oh my God.
I mean, it really, truly, Miami Beach is really, truly, when you think of places to be in Miami-Dade County and the diversity of what it can offer you, regardless of what your interests are, whether it's rest and relaxation, what is going outside and being adventurous. I mean, we have it all.
Well, and now I'm so excited. We even have the Michelangelo immersive experience pop-up.
We can talk about arts and culture, Miami Beach.
My goodness. Well, I mean, we've become the center of arts and culture between our investments in the Wilsonian Museum and the Bass and the Miami City Ballet and the new housing that we've just opened up in Collins Park to provide affordable housing for artists and for the students at the Miami City Ballet. I mean, we really are just this growing arts and culture destination. And let's talk about the Miami Beach Bandshell in North Beach. That is one of our most active venues in the city.
And iconic.
Iconic. Well, it's got a national designation as a historic destination. So it's not only just a venue for music and prosperity for North Beach, because the amount of ripple effect that the businesses get from all the activity that happens there is amazing. But it's also this great destination, this great landmark, and it's so much so that even public radio, they have a partnership where they broadcast a lot of these great activations that go on there. It really is incredible. And then you have Miami New Drama and all the energy they've brought to Lincoln Road at the Colony. We truly are an arts and culture destination, and it's something that our own taxpayers has said it is in our values. So we are going to be investing in the arts, and we're going to be investing in the arts because we know that the return on investment is so great, because tourism will come to Miami Beach, the tourism that helps fund our budget, that helps fund the police, that support our quality of life, that help support the sanitation, that keep our sidewalks clean. It doesn't all come from the property taxes of our homeowners. And about 70% of it, in fact, comes through non-property taxes. It comes through all the other sources of revenue, and in large part from the tourists that come to support our museums and that come to enjoy of our beaches and to enjoy of our restaurants. And there is this great marriage between residents, quality of life, and the businesses. And it's why I'm so excited about Michelangelo, because one of the things that I recently championed was this pop-up permit. where businesses that don't want to go through the bureaucracy
Right.
of being held up in the red tape for months upon months, they just want to test the waters before they tie the
Commit
knot,
fully. Commit
bef-
fully.
before they tie the knot on a long-term lease. Well, now they can apply for these pop-up permits for up to a year. They can test the waters in Miami Beach, see if their business model works in Miami Beach before they go ahead and sign that long-term lease
Correct.
and then go through the whole, process of getting permits. And we all know that that process can be very involved, and we are actually we're working very hard in fixing that. We have recruited perhaps one of the best building officials in all of Miami-Dade County, Vince Cejas. We took him from the city of Doral, and he is creating some institutional changes in our building department. And we're getting great feedback on how much smoother the process is now. So having these conversations with the chamber, understanding parking needs of businesses is now resulting in legislation to address that in the summer months. Understanding that businesses can't be stuck in this limbo stage for long period of time. Well, now we have these pop-up permits so that they can test the waters. Understanding that we had to reform our business department. Well, we cleaned house administratively, and we brought in new leadership there that is creating institutional change. Understanding that we need to be a business-friendly government if we also want to be a resident-friendly
It's
tax
that balance.
base.
It's balancing that. It's balancing that line of business interest versus resident quality of life, which I think the city of Miami Beach does incredibly. And I know that you're a big policy guy, right? We've talked a lot about it, and you champion, I think, almost every issue from public safety to historic preservation to
Oh my goodness,
climate
historic
change and
preservation. I have to
resiliency.
tell you, well, okay,
I hit it. There it is. There it is. So let's talk. Let's talk about
I love
policy. Let's
policy.
talk a little bit
I'm a
about
nerd
policy.
when it comes to
I
policy.
know you are. I know. Let's talk about policy. What are some of the things that you're really excited about? What are some of the things that you've been able to implement, to change, to see results from? Let's chat a little bit about that.
Well, okay, so I'm going to tell you about a few things that are in the works right now. We all know that condominium owners are suffering a lot right now, and a lot of them are being targeted through predatory buyouts. And so we've worked with our inspector general. Probably about a year ago, I had a resident from the Seacoast Towers reach out to me about he just felt he was being targeted by all of this predatory activity, aggressive calls, aggressive solicitation, being pushed to sell his unit, being pushed to get under contract, being pushed then to lower his sale price, because now a developer has his unit under contract. The developer was going to buy his condominium. They got him under contract. All of a sudden now, because the developer has controlling interest over the association, the developer was increasing the maintenance costs. And what happens when you increase the maintenance costs? Now your value goes down because it makes it harder for you to find a buyer in the open market. Who's going to want to invest in a condominium unit where your assessments have been raised so much? So they kind of had this guy in a catch-22, and then they just kept on delaying and delaying the closing date until he lowered his sale price. It was a real predatory practice, and we sent it over to the inspector general's office, and they investigated what was going on. And the city of Miami Beach, through my sponsorship, will be enacting the very first predatory buyout practice legislation in the state of Florida. We are the first city that is going to be taking proactive legislation to protect its homeowners who have done this nest egg So we're going to be the first city to do that, and that's just
That's
one piece
huge.
of
That's
legislation
so
that we're working
impactful, and that
on.
can set such great precedent
Yeah,
across the board.
well,
That's
and
incredible.
hopefully other cities
Follow.
follow suit. But one of the other things that we're also working on is historic preservation. I hear from people all the time navigating our historic preservation process is incredibly difficult, and we have a historic preservation code that is 40 years old. And for the first time ever, we convened an ad hoc historic preservation code review committee to review all these laws that have existed for 4 decades. And we are, for the first time, we are currently updating that to streamline the process. Right now, most cities, they have about 10 different review criteria when it comes to historic preservation. We have 50. And those 50 review criteria are making it difficult for people to actually preserve these historic assets. And so we're going in and we're saying, okay, how can we preserve our identity and our character, but make it easier for people to invest in preservation? And the greatest thing that we are doing is that we are going to be giving individuals who invest in preservation a tax break. We are passing legislation to create an ad valorem historic tax exception on historic properties. So if you invest in preserving a commercial building, a multi-family building where we have so many of our tenants, if you invest in preserving that building, you won't be taxed in your property taxes for that increment in property value as an incentive to tell property owners, we want you to come and invest in upkeeping your property, and not only upkeeping it, making them fortified for the future so that we preserve these beautiful historic assets we have in our city. And I could just go on and on. We're passing policy to protect tenants. We hear all the time how tenants end up in this limbo with condominium associations, that months go by and they don't get approval. I mean, not months, but weeks go by and they don't get approval when they're applying to become a tenant in a building. So we're passing policy to set a limit of 15 days. If you submit an application to live in a building, they need to give you an answer within 15 days. And so we're really going out of our way to help businesses, help preservation, help condo owners,
Property owners,
and
help
help
tenants,
tenants.
helping everyone as our government is supposed to be doing, and as we are so thrilled that you are leading the charge on all of that, because it's important to have an elected official, someone in office who listens to the needs of the community and then addresses it. And I think
Listen,
that's
the
something that
community,
you
when they
do.
were talking about increasing parking rates, we fought back and we
Yeah.
said, absolutely not. When they were talking about increasing water rates, I'm sorry, people in this economy
Absolutely.
people and businesses in this economy can't deal with that. So we're listening.
Absolutely.
And it's why I love that you do this, because you help communicate
And we
to the
help get that message
community.
out there. And we help
Yes.
say, if you have something that you need addressed, or if you have an issue or concern, then our government, the city of Miami Beach, is receptive to that. Reach out, have a conversation with Commissioner Fernandez, make your concerns known, and let's see if we can find solutions, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to find solutions. We're here to better the community. We're here to impact change. We're here to move the city forward. And I think you are just the perfect example of that.
And I
We
think they're telling us to wrap up.
No, yeah, like I was like, this is gonna be a long one. Alex and I can sit and talk
I could have
for
gone on much
hours.
longer, by the
I know.
way.
We didn't talk about anything that I had listed that we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna
I
do two
totally
things.
crashed your opening, by the
It
way.
was brilliant.
I
Was
just loved
brilliant.
it. It just came out.
People are gonna ask, like, what's been your favorite interview? And I'm gonna have to be like, the time that Alex just like jumped right in and did my opening for me, which is great, which is beautiful. Thank you. I mean, taking the work off of me. We're gonna do two more questions, super quick, really fast.
Yeah.
Never happens. But what's your favorite local hidden spot in Miami Beach? Like, what is your hidden gem? And it doesn't have to necessarily be a restaurant. It could be anything. Like, what is like the hidden gem?
Okay.
But I don't know if you want to announce it, right? Because then everyone's going to go there, and then it's not going to be your secret hidden gem anymore.
Okay. My favorite spot in Miami Beach, I have to tell you, it's the beach. It's the beach itself. The lifeguard stand by 24th Street. I love there's nothing more beautiful than waking up in the morning, walking to the
You do
beach
that. You do walk that boardwalk. Yeah.
and seeing the sunrise
Yeah.
over our beautiful city. And it just fills me with optimism, and it fills me with gratitude. And it's when I do my morning prayer and I ask God to instill me with his peace, with his guidance, with his wisdom, to help me be an instrument of his peace, so that I can be a better public servant. And it's just like my calming moment, but it's the most beautiful
I feel
part
like
of
I'm
our
feeling
city.
that moment for you and with you. I can't like imagining going onto the beach and watching the sunrise. And, it's the city of Miami Beach, and you hold such an important office and you have the ability to do so much, and using that as an opportunity to keep yourself grounded
Yes.
and remember the reasons why you do what you do, and to ask for that strength and that guidance so that you can move forward and make those decisions for the betterment of our community. I really truly feel like I'm feeling that. If you find me on the beach one
Yeah,
morning
there
at
you go.
24th
I
Street, like,
have to
Alex,
tell
where are
you.
you?
But you know what? And God has blessed me, because that is where I have met some of the greatest people in our community. Some made some really long lasting friendships with some incredible people. Has been at that moment also. And really, it's why it's just my favorite spot. It's not only when I see the beautiful sunrise and get my workout in and connect with God and ask for his wisdom and his strength, but it's where he's also blessed me with some incredible people that he's placed in my life.
That's absolutely amazing. I there's so much more I could talk to you about, but I think that is the perfect way to end our Business Beyond the Beach talk show with you. And like I said, I could talk to you for hours, but we are on schedule. We're busy. We got stuff to do. Alex got to get back to Miami Beach and,
I
help
gotta
run the
say,
city.
only Brittnie Bassant can get me off of Miami Beach. Only Brittnie Bassant,
Yay.
but to come to Miami community newspapers is always
Always
such a
always
pleasure.
fun. Yeah.
There's so much history in this building,
Yes.
and they have been such an important part of Miami history.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll talk about that in the next episode
Yes.
with Alex, as we'll bring him back for sure, because we have so much to talk about with him. So Alex, thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
so much for being on the show with us, for sharing your story and a little bit of your insights. You guys have been an incredible audience. Thank you for tuning in.